and we'll get going. Well, good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome you all to Wellness Weekly Call. I'm so happy that you're here with us. We have people who are our Solex family. Sometimes we have guests that show up and are taking a peek at what we have. But whoever you are, we're really happy to have you. I'm Marianne Node, and I live on the west coast of Canada. And I have a beautiful friend. Her name is Christina. Christina, you introduce yourself and where you're from.
Hello, I'm Christina. I'm from Ontario in a tiny town called Beaton, just north of Toronto. And I've been using the scan technology since October. So it's nice to be here with everyone and learn from each other.
You know what I just discovered, Christina? That it's been 2.5 years since since I first started using the Solex products and their scans and that. So, we're going to start this call off with anything that is said on this call is not intended to diagnose or prescribe. We make no disease claims. Actually, we're just sharing information. So, keep that in mind. And we're going to open up the call. So basically, we have people that share their stories, their experiences, either for themselves, their clients, their family, their friends, their pets. I mean, we hear all kinds of stories. So does anybody have a story they'd like to start off with?
I can go first.
All right, Melissa, let's hear what you have.
All right. So this is the first week that I've really, actually in the last maybe week and a half, that I've really been using the imprint function a lot, and for chronic pain. So I actually have a colleague that hopefully will be on this call, but she came to me and she was in a cast, so she broke her wrist, her left wrist, and she's not into taking painkillers. So I was showing her the AO scan technology. She's a practitioner as well. So I said, how's your pain level? She's like, it's awful. It's awful, awful, awful. But she won't take anything for it. So I said, well, let's imprint your water. So that was like, that was the wow. So I didn't even send her stuffies. I put the water on on my laptop and deleted the frequency, and then it just imprinted with pain relief. And I'm no word of a lie. Within 2 minutes, she was feeling the benefits from the imprinted water. So I've done that on several clients over the last week, just to see. And I still send them stuffies, on their drive home, but the power in a glass of imprinted water was just crazy.
So, is that like, can I just ask a couple of questions? Is that like
Sure.
a client that's at your place, you're imprinting the water for them, or are you imprinting the water from a distance that they're drinking? Which is it?
No, they have come to us. Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
they're having treatments or whatever. Yeah, so they're right in our house in our clinic. So yeah, imprinting the water for them, and then they're drinking it. So one client was, I said, tell me one thing that you're feeling pain right now, and he's like, it's my neck. So I just put on, I think there's one like pain in the neck or neck pain or whatever, imprinted it into his 2 ounce, 3 ounce glass of water and shot it back. And yeah, within a few minutes, he was noticing the effects. So pretty
Amazing.
powerful.
Mm-hmm.
That is so powerful. When I do I think it's the easy scan. And when you get all the recommendations of your homeopathics to take,
Yeah.
I just take a little bit of water and I just imprint boom, 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 one after the other in the water, drink it down, and I'm good to go. So easy. And yet this is amazing to have like, that confirmation back from a client saying, I'm feeling better, and more than one, right? Thanks for sharing that, because I think that's one of the parts of the scans that we're not really maybe utilizing as much as we should. So
No, and
mhm.
I wasn't either. And I did do, now Dr. Darrell had recommended, I was watching one of his Zoom calls a few weeks ago, and there was a lady on that had said, can I imprint the frequency of Advil into a glass of water and take that? And he says, well, it's worth the experiment. So that same night, I did the same thing. I was experiencing a little bit of pain in my knee. So I'm like, I'm just going to try this. So I imprinted I scanned Advil. I still have it in my house. Don't use it, but scan the Advil, and then did the copy function and copied the frequency into the shot glass of water. Sadly, it didn't work for me, but I only tried once, so I'm not sure if anyone else has tried that. But no, the Advil copying did not work for me. But
Interesting.
Yeah,
Ah, thank you. Thanks for that.
I
That's
gotta play
interesting.
around with that more.
Me too. Do we have another story? Any testimonials? Anything like that? Any products that you're using that you're loving? Oh, I see that Karen. Yay. Hi, Karen.
I'm Marianne. Hi, everyone. Just a really quick share. I'm a person who historically has not had headaches throughout my life. I just don't get them. But detoxing with AO scan has meant that more days than not, I have a headache. And it's random. It's often just around the sides of my head, sometimes in the front, sometimes in the back. But I just take my 660 band, put it on my forehead for like 2 minutes, put it on my neck for 2 minutes, and in 5 minutes, I have no headache.
That's
Everyone's
fantastic. Well, it's probably helping with some of the circulation and maybe the inflammation that I mean,
Yeah.
I honestly, you guys, you think I just put this on when I'm on these calls? I'm not. I'm wearing them all day long. I just go back and forth, and then I run it out and I plug it in, and then she's good to go in a couple hours again. That's fantastic, Karen. Have you ever used it, tried Christina for a headache or anything like that, or a stiff neck or anything?
No, I'm using more the wand if I have that, but yeah, it's convenient to just kind of put it wherever. So,
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't realize that, the warmth that comes from this, if it starts getting too hot for you, just click it one more time while it's on and it'll turn off the heat. So a lot of people didn't know that, and they were saying to me, I'm finding it very warm to wear it all day long or wear it too long. So once it's on, just give it one more click and it'll turn the heat off. Oh, I can see. Look at Anne. Anne's like, "Oh yeah, that was a good share." Thanks a lot, Karen, for sharing that. And it's true, lots of water too with the detox.
64 ounces a day.
Good girl.
I think Lori has a share as well.
Yeah, well, I'm new to the scanner. I just got my own, let's see, and at the end of February. So I've just spent the month of March and so far this month, April, just kind of experimenting with it. And it's been really interesting. I've seen a couple of things happen that I thought was kind of interesting and mind-blowing, and I share with everybody when I'm telling them about the scanner in my family. When I run the scans on myself and my family, I look at them, but I'm not analyzing them. Well, one day my granddaughter, she's 7, she came home from school with an earache. She had been to the nurse at school, and the little slip said she complained of an earache. And then I remembered, I think that came up on her scan the last time I scanned her. So I went back and I looked, and sure enough, the ear had showed up 2 or 3 days before she had the earache.
Oh, wow.
And I had heard somebody say that the frequencies get out of balance before it physically manifests many times, which is why we're doing what we do to try to get it to not manifest physically. And then it happened to me. I ran a scan and it had something on my left knee, and my left knee didn't hurt at all. But a few days later, I was like, oh, my knee's kind of stiff. Then I remembered, oh, I think that came up, and it did. So that, and then you all were talking about pain. I had a very simple procedure and came home, and if you touch the area, of course it's sore, but it was painful. So I ran the little Cephi dot, and I just learned about running the scan. So I ran the scan and it said pain. So I loaded my dot with the pain frequency and put it on. And within an hour, that pain was gone. And then I use the 660 band on my shoulders for pain, and it's gone. So it's really been an amazing journey so far.
Amazing.
So it's easy to say that you're really gaining results with pretty well everything you're using, and you're seeing the correlations, right?
Mhm.
Oh, yes, I'm definitely being able to connect the dots. And I think for the last, 3 weeks, I've been running multicast
Mhm.
to my family in my house. And, you know, each family has their own specific playlist, but then I have some that I cast to all of us. Well, one day I'd been using my scanner a lot on myself, and the girls got home from school. They're 7 and 8, and they were just bickering and bickering and bickering. And I'm like, what is going on? And then it dawned on me, I was not multicasting to them. And when I am broadcasting frequencies, there is such a calm. They get along with each other. I mean, not that it's 100%, but there is a noticeable difference when I am broadcasting frequencies and when I'm not.
Amazing.
How many mothers would like that?
I know.
And grandmothers and whatever.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Christina, you were going to say something. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I'm just impressed. Like, I think in just a month, like you've really got a handle on a lot of ways to use the tool, which is fantastic. Like you're, a big wide variety of skills you've learned in a short period of time. I think that's great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been fun and interesting.
Good.
Thank you for sharing all those stories. Wow, I'm going to make some notes on some of these.
Oh,
That was
that's
a
a good
lot.
reminder for me. I'm supposed to be taking notes, right?
Oh.
Oh, I had to
Does
share about the wand
Okay.
that I could share because I have a friend who's been quite sick for the past couple of weeks with like kind of like exhaustion that's sort of led to like a vertigo. And so I've been to her house a couple of times, um, and I've been wanding her with the infinity wand. And it was pretty awesome. The first time she had a really long, deep sleep. It was a noticeably deeper sleep. From working on her hands, I did um, a bit on her head, just local areas where she had a lot of congestion, and then up her spine. And the next time I went, so because she's been quite ill. The next time I went, she has all this huge congestion in her head. Her entire right side had drained from the wand. So now there's just left side congestion, but she was so concerned because she had nausea as well. So she even went to the hospital. Like her husband took her to the hospital because they're like, this is really strange. It's persisting for a long time. But they verified that everything was okay. And just basically all the things that I was telling her to do, they just more or less confirmed at the hospital as well. And they were able to clarify that she didn't have anything else to be concerned about. But just the fact that she was able to have that whole side drain, I thought was powerful. And so she's just got to work on the other side and then, overcome this virus she's dealing with, which is probably creating the balance problems. And but it's powerful. So that was using the wand, plus I have some very specific now tailored playlists for the vertigo that I'm trying out. So I'm just waiting on some feedback from her on that.
Wow, that's quite interesting, like one side is draining first. Does she feel like there's less pressure? She feels better as far as, her equilibrium?
I
Or is
think
she still
the other side is so congested. I think that's what's throwing her off, right?
okay? Yeah. Oh, keep us updated on that one
Yeah.
as it continues. I have nothing but I have amazing stories. I could sit and tell stories for a long, long time about the wand. That was one of the first things that I purchased 2.5 years ago, and I've used it on a variety of different symptoms that we've seen in the body. So yeah. Oh, thanks, Christina. Do
I
we
got
have
a
Oh, where are we? Oh, hi, it's Jason.
hi.
Hi.
Sorry I was late. Yeah, I got a couple quick ones for us. We had a client in today who had some kidney issues going on, and I was trying to figure out exactly where to do some other stuff with the kidneys. And so Melissa ran a scan on this person, and it helped exactly pinpoint where I needed to address. And the person, she's had pain in her side for decades, and we were able to get a relief like instantly between using the scanner and what else I was doing to help her out. We got her relief like right away, which was unbelievable to her.
Mhm.
So that was pretty awesome.
And then she let us work on her migraines. So because
Yeah.
then she became a believer.
To be
So
able to get that information so that you could actually zero right in on, finding that area and getting right to it. And she'd had this for decades, did you say? Some issues?
yeah, she's been trying everywhere and everyone, trying all different sorts of modalities and doctors and medications, you name it, and she has never found relief. So she was pretty stunned when she was able to get up and like it doesn't hurt.
Mhm.
So that's always cool when that happens.
Yeah.
Way to go, guys. I mean, how do you feel too when, you have a client come in, or whether it be a family member or a friend, but to be able to bring that kind of relief, that's such a gift to be able to share with people.
Yeah.
Especially when they feel so down, like there's no options left. They've tried everything, right? Like they just don't feel like there's anybody that's ever going to be able to help them. And you're able to turn that attitude around in minutes.
Fantastic. I love
So
it.
we
Thank
have, and then the other one I want to talk about is kind of it's a similar thing. This lady had rheumatoid arthritis. She's had it for 35 years. And we've been treating her for a couple of weeks now. And we asked her when she came back for her second treatment how it's been working because she purchased the subscription for the AO scanner.
Well, she became a QLA actually.
Yeah. And so Melissa's been working with her to set up different playlists and helping her out on the emotional side because rheumatoid arthritis is very emotional. It's very connected to the emotions in the body. And so when she came back a week later for her next treatment, we asked her how it's been going, if she's noticed a difference. And she said, yes, it's not nearly as painful day to day when she listens to her easy scans, listens to her inner
the
voice,
inner voice. Yeah.
does her easy scan, listens to the inner voice. She's noticing an improvement. And that's only in 1 week after holding us for over 35 years.
Yeah, so now we've gone over how to incorporate mind sync into that because inner voice and mind sync, those two are just dynamite. So she was
They are
really
so powerful. Dr. Sheila is always talking about putting those two together.
Yeah.
So the inner voice, the technology, we are so blessed to have that. It's a patented technology that came from Russia, and Lauren bought the rights for it, and and of course really improved on it. But we were discussing something about if you have something that happened to you when you were a child and it's buried in your subconscious for, let's say, how would you even know? How do you know what you have to work on? A lot of us have these issues, but with the inner voice, you don't have to know. It's going to read the harmonics, in your voice, and it's going to rebalance it. You're going to put it to music, whatever you want, and listen to it. And you can just relax, and you can use your colored glasses too with them. And like the results, I've heard such amazing testimonials from just that one scan there. So thanks for sharing that.
That's a great point you bring up because just because somebody has chronic or critical issues that they're trying to address that are from a long time ago, that they just feel it's just a part of their lives now.
Mhm.
Every single person on this call and in this world has something that they've buried into their body. And we could all be and should be, because we have the software, using this on a regular daily basis to help balance our own body. I remember Dr. Darrell talking about that. That's a big thing for him is everybody, all of his clients do that inner voice every day. And that's a major part of their healing. And we've addressed that with a lot of our clients.
Yeah.
And they're seeing the results. It is truth.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's what Lauren said. He said if there was if he's running out of the house, he can only do one thing. He said, I'm not doing the multi-scan, I'm not doing the vitals. He said, I will always take time to do the inner voice because it's that profound. And so, yeah, thanks for sharing. A lot of people don't know what we're talking about. If some of these subjects that we're talking about, you're new QLA and you don't know maybe what's going on, get back to the person who helped you, who gifted and brought this information to you and find out more about it. Also, there's a lot of tutorials on the Solex LLC YouTube page. You can go in there and go through them and play them over and over and over if you don't get it the first time. But take advantage of them. And I think a lot of I can speak for on behalf of a lot of practitioners. Sometimes we forget to do our own because it's such a big heart. We're always in such a rush to help all those people around us. And really, I implore you, you wonderful people that are helping so many people with such huge hearts, to make sure that you are the first person that you run a scan on in the day, and or that you're included in a multi-scan. Yeah. So, anyways, thanks again.
That's why we bought a second subscription so we could actually take care of ourselves too. Because we're so busy sharing with the clients that we forget about ourselves. We just bought a second subscription specifically for us.
Oh my God, that's the good. That's the best. Well, way to go, guys. Uh, do we have another story? Somebody would like to share a story. I see Mary's over there. Mary Humphrey usually has a story. It's just nice to see you, Mary. Thanks for hopping on.
Yeah, I do have a story.
Do
And
you?
this involves, yes, I was just in the hospital a week and a half ago with pneumonia, which is an ongoing thing with me, but I actually would end up in the hospital. But of course, I had just my scanner and I was scanning myself away. And it just came in the doctor said, oh, I think you're doing so well, you can be released possibly. Let's just take a chest x-ray. Well, when are you going to do that? Well, I don't know, just sometime. So I was thinking, and I thought about Karen when she said she ran an EMF Shield. And I didn't know when this x-ray is going to take place, right? But I just thought, well, I'm just going to run an EMF Shield because why not? Karen said it works. So I ran the EMF Shield. About 10 minutes later, I ran it for like 2 hours. 10 minutes later, they came in and wheeled me down to the x-ray machine. And I had already put the shield on. So I think I'm learning that you go with your gut instincts as well. Sometimes you have these thoughts, and because I was on the call, then I learned about the EMF Shield, that you could do that. And it just came to my mind. And that wasn't any coincidence. That was just healing coming out and, because my body wants to get better. So that was pretty cool.
That's a cool story. And I love that you brought up that intuition part, because Lauren also talks a lot about there's a huge part of the success of when we do it, we're running scans for ourselves or others, the intention. What is our intention? And that plays a big part. People like if you could just take a moment or two before you run a multi-scan on all your family, for example, put that intention in. What do real quickly, it doesn't have to be big, anything long, but just, feel that and close your eyes maybe for a moment and really put that intention in to your family or friends or your clients or whoever you're working for. So thanks for reminding us to listen to ourselves. Super important. Well, Christina, we still have time.
Yeah, we had quite
Is
a few
Shalu
join.
did I see Shalu raising her hand over there? Yeah, there she is.
Miriam,
Hi, how are
you know what?
you?
Oh, I'm so glad to be home. We were traveling for the last 10 days in Arizona. And my story is about traveling with the scanner. Like, my goodness. I love the multi-scan and the multicast because I was still able to service my clients, even though I'm on vacation, because it doesn't take hours and hours. I can just still do. And if anything, I think they got a little bit more than normal because I would set it for the day and off I'd go. They got more frequencies than they would otherwise, right? But for me, I ended up twisting my ankle and we're traveling. And the last thing I want to do is spend time in a hospital. So I just ran a scan, right? And I'm like, okay, let's see which layer, where's the problem? And when I looked at the comprehensive, it was just in the connective tissue. So I'm like, yeah, it looks really nasty, but I've sprained it. That's all it is, right? And so right away, I sent myself the Cephes for the injuries, right? And foot pain and all of that. But I also walked with my red light band, thank God. And I had some DMSO, so I put that on and then put the red light band on it. And I think, well, we were, in Sedona. So the healing of like everything that I was doing, plus the place we were at, I actually, my foot looks like an elephant foot, doesn't matter, but there was no pain. I was able to do 3 of the vortexes, so I'm proud. But it was just so comforting to know that I could run the scan and that I could see where the issues were. And it was like, okay, this is all it is, plus, of course, you have to use your intuition and go, am I able to put any weight on it or not, or what? Because it's different. I mean, if I'd broken it, there would be a whole lot more pain, right? But just being able to see the scan and sort of know, okay, what I'm feeling is actually what I'm seeing on the scan. And it just so much peace. So I think it's a in travel insurance you must have with you when you're traveling, to take your scanner with you, because you never know what's going to happen, right?
Well, Shalu, the thing of it is that could have ruined your whole holiday, your whole vacation. You might have ended up, you couldn't move, and how frustrating would that be? And then to be able to have a look in and say, how serious is this, right? And then to be able to say, okay, it hurts, this and that, but you're going to be okay and run your scans. That's a great story. Don't leave home without it.
But the red light band,
Oh yeah, and that red light band too. I love that.
it worked like a charm, honestly. That was just so nice because we put the ice on it, but then when you put the red light band on it, well, the heat that comes off of it, it was so comforting. And I think, like I said, I could not believe it was, 24 hours later and I was hiking. Yeah, swollen foot and all, but I was hiking. Okay. Like there was no pain.
Thanks,
It just
God.
blows my mind. It was amazing.
No doubt.
Fantastic. Thanks for sharing that. And guys, you can run it off of your phone. You run it off a tablet. You can run it off of your desktop. It's just phenomenal. When I say don't leave home without it, I remember a couple of stories that Shalu actually shared at the restaurant that she owned, and somebody came in with a toothache. She just popped them in her phone, and they had relief within, or tooth discomfort. I'm going to say gum discomfort, whatever. But within what, 20 minutes, half an hour, they were like, hey, it's feeling way better, right? So.
Remember the lady with she had part of the tick still in her. And we started running the frequencies to help with that. And she was fine. She never had any issues.
Fantastic.
Health on the
Well,
go.
boy, I hope that everyone's really enjoyed like the multitude and the vastness of all of these different stories. We didn't even touch on some of the products because I know Christina, she has a couple of famous products that she just loves. I mean, they are famous. I think they're famous. I promote them to everyone. But if you were to pick one, Christina, what would it be?
Non-equipment stuff, I would say the blue, the methylene blue. Yeah,
Yeah.
I notice a huge difference when I don't use that for my own brain functioning and energy and all that stuff. But we're actually out of time, Marianne. I just noticed.
Okay. I
So,
want you to wind up the call.
yeah,
Okay?
we're heading on to Solex LLC YouTube channel. And we have a half-hour session there where there's something unexpected they're going to be sharing with us that has to do with light. So they've kind of thrown out a bit of a teaser, and we encourage you to head over there. But we thank you all so much for joining us, for sharing, and helping others to continue to benefit from the scan technology. It's pretty amazing.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.
Have a
Thank
good night.
you.
Thanks,
care.
Christina.
Thank you.
Bye.